What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with 12 weeks out physique update from Regan, another guy who is gonna be making his comeback after more than 1 year at this upcoming mighty New York Pro. So this is gonna be his first show since the Olympiad 2023, which makes this return quite an anticipated one, as we all wanna see a super-sized version of Regan on the stage, since the lack of having enough mass, enough muscularity, that has always been the biggest criticism of Regan, especially in the bigger shows like the Arnold and the Olympia. I think we can all agree his shape has always been incredible. He has that amazing structure. He has a very nice flow to his physique. He's very aesthetic, and that puts him in the list of tall aesthetic bodybuilders of this era. And since aesthetics are being rewarded a lot in the recent times, that goes in Regan's advantage. That goes in his favor. Also, Samson Dauda being the reigning Miss Olympia, that also goes in Regan's favor, since Samson Dauda is also another tall aesthetic mass monster. So this front double biceps right here, that could have been a picture perfect pose if he had bigger, more peaking biceps. But still, that looks very promising. And his physique right now, that is changing at such a steady pace, making sure that all that muscle that he put on this year, that stays there when he diets down. Now I have no idea if Regan could have been so much relevant in this upcoming New York Pro if he did not make that statement about Nick Walker that is gonna beat him there, because that just triggered a lot of the fans out there. And honestly, until we see that happen on the stage, it's all just talk. Now Nick Walker at 5'6", or maybe 5'7", he's at that same weight as Regan is, and Regan is 6 feet tall. So this alone just goes to show you the difference in the overall muscle mass and the density between both these guys. So keep in mind, this was Regan's second time in the last 3 years when he decided not to compete at all throughout the year and focus on putting on more mass and more muscle. So it is very clear where his confidence is coming from, but he has to back that up big time on the stage. So do you guys think Regan is gonna be considerably bigger on the stage compared to Olympiad 2023? Guys, Mr. Olympia Signature Series is now live on hostel.com. Use the code FAZI10 to get 10% discount and click the arrow below to check out all the hostel products. Next up, we have an update from the mutant Nick Walker, the man who is already calling himself the Pittsburgh Pro Champion. And why not? If the man is looking that good at 11 weeks out, that much fat free, and the fact that he's just shy of 300 pounds, he's gonna look like an absolute monster on the stage. Now that being said, there are some big question marks regarding Nick Walker this time. He's working with a new coach for the very first time. Will he be able to peak him 100% on his first try? Because with Martin-Fitzwater hungry for that win, Nick cannot even be slightly off. He got kind of lucky last year at the New York Pro, going up against Martin, but this is a new and a bigger version of Martin, and he's gonna show no mercy if Nick Walker misses his mark. So remember, before the Olympia last year, the entire discussion that was going around Nick Walker's quad sweep, whether he's gonna be able to bring up his legs from the front and bring down his waistline, or is that gonna be the same as it was at the New York Pro? Now that is a genetic thing for Nick Walker, so do not expect to see some crazy kind of improvements in that regard. But if Nick is actually 10 pounds heavier than what he looked like at the New York Pro, and he got his stomach under control, that's a dangerous Nick Walker. Not only at this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro, but him beating Martin, that's gonna solidify his position of being a contender for the Olympia top 3 later in October this year. Next up, we have an update from the former Miss Olympia, Brandon Carey. After years and years of competing at the highest level, Brandon still has those roided delts, and the only reason I'm saying that is because that is a common side injection for many of these pros out there, and over time, these guys lose all that detail in that specific area. But Curry still has one of the roundest and the most 3D looking delts in the entire bodybuilding. Another sneak peek where Brandon is looking very dry and very hard, and that is exactly how he is supposed to look like when he is less than 2 weeks out of this upcoming Arnold. Now I know most of you guys do not have Brandon in your top 5 for this upcoming Arnold, and that is kind of understandable, as he was 9th place at the Olympia last year. But I believe Brandon can really surprise a lot of people with an entirely new package this time around. They surely won't go back for the Olympia 2024 look, because the shape alone, that isn't gonna help him place higher, especially amongst the best of the best in the world. But Brandon can beat guys like William Bonac, Sean Carrera, and Akeem Williams. He has an unbelievable shape, still one of the most eye-pleasing physique in the Pro League right now. And there is only one thing missing from Brandon's physique, and that is the lack of separation in his quads. And they are definitely looking to bring that, a more detailed package, at this upcoming Arnold. So this show will be a decider for a lot of these guys and their future, like Brandon and William Bonac. Because in case a young aspiring bodybuilder like Carlos Thomas Jr. beats them, then this is most probably gonna be the end of the road for both of these guys. Guys, Gorilla Wear is offering a massive discount of up to 70% right now. Use the code FAZI10 to get 10% extra discount. So that is the week 3 of dieting phase in the books for Juan Pradels, checking in with his coach Francisco. So big things are expected from this guy this year, as he also took a very long break from competing after making his pro debut back in 2023 at the Emperor Classic Spain. Now he wasn't able to make a solid impact in that show. Neither the size nor the conditioning was outstanding, and that is why he went back to the drawing board. And that is why this is a totally different monster. The size that Juan has been able to put on overall on his frame, but specifically in his quads, that has given him a totally new look. That enhanced X frame, that very good V-taper, that is gonna help him a lot the next time he's up on that stage, because that has given him a much better balance. So what is really impressive is the fact that he was able to get a lot bigger, and not at any point during this entire off-season did he ever get fat. He was always in a decent body composition. So this right here is a fasted check-in in the morning, and one can only imagine how he will look like after a solid workout. So the back density and thickness, that has also improved visibly, so he has a lot of time before this upcoming Spain Pro, exactly 4 months. And considering he started this prep very early, the condition most probably won't be an issue this time. So many great guys are striving for their first ever pro win and their first ever Miss Olympia qualification. Good Vito, Carlos Thomas Jr., Coliseus Ken, Juan Pradels. So do you guys think Juan will be able to win his first pro show in what's turning out to be a very combative season? Next up, we have a less than 2 weeks out physique update from Justin Rodriguez. So the man is looking very flat right now and very depleted with minimal pop to his muscles, which is what's needed for a lot of these guys in order to get truly peeled. So nobody changes more than Justin in that final week before the show. And his look before the Arnold 2022, they are a proof of that. He was at his all-time best. So that package from Justin, that had everything: size, width, conditioning, and that wow factor. And this is gonna surprise a lot of people that Justin was beating Samson Dauda and Steve Koklo after the prejudging at that show. So he could have landed in 3rd place at the Arnold that year, but he just could not hold on to that look. But things have totally changed now. The physique which was once top 8 in the world, that is struggling to make even top 5 in an Olympia qualifier, which has a weak lineup. So a miracle needs to happen for Justin to land in the top 6 at this upcoming Arnold. Because we're gonna have Samson Dauda, Derek and Andrew logged in for the top 3. Then there are other guys like Sean Carrera, William Bonac, Brandon Carey, James Hollingshead, Carlos Thomas Jr. So this is a very difficult lineup for a physique like Justin to really stand out. So the dream team of Brad Wilkin and Martin-Fitzwater, they are together. And although Martin hasn't been putting a lot of updates, you better believe these guys are putting in the work. And when these guys train together, there isn't even the slightest question of any lack of effort in the gym, because those guys are really hardcore and they train like absolute maniacs. So Martin and Brad both credit each other on their success that these guys both had last year, as both these guys had a very long training camp together and they benefited from each other. And as we all know, Martin is gonna get ready to compete against Nick Walker in Pittsburgh. He needs a push more than ever before. Now that is 11 weeks out. And Brad being very strong and deep in his offseason, that is an ideal case scenario for Martin. So Brad himself will be making his Olympia debut this year, and they have a plan to put on like 5 to 7 pounds of muscle on that frame during this growth phase. So both are working with Stefan. So this is gonna be a good year for both these guys. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.